Good morning. Welcome back to the Broadcast Retirement Network. I'm Jeff Snyder. This is BRN AM for Wednesday, November 3rd, 2021. And our top story today, is your home as protected as you think? Well, joining me now to discuss this and a lot more is Mike O'Connor with Assured Partners. Mike, great to see you again. Thanks so much for joining us on the program this morning.
Yeah, thanks for having me again, Jeffrey.
And look, I have to ask, because you're a former Major League Baseball player, World Series, how do you think things are going? I think right now it's 3-2 in favor of the Atlanta Braves, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, it's 3-2 Braves right now, so I think it's been a great World Series, exciting games. It looked like the Braves were going to wrap it up the other day when they hit the grand slam early, but the Astros who were able to win that game 5 in Atlanta. So yeah, I think at this point anything could happen, right? This game, it's a huge game. If it goes to a game 7, you just never know. So yeah, I think it's going to be a good finish to the baseball season tonight.
Yeah, pretty dynamic teams, amazing fan bases, amazing cities. It'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. All right, Michael, let's turn our attention to ensuring that your home is as protected as you think. What are some people missing when it comes to insuring the home?
Yeah, I think a lot of things. I think personal insurance or homeowners insurance a lot of time is an overlooked part of the financial plan. The way that it is marketed to consumers, through TV ads is that lower cost is always better. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of people are just conditioned that. And what we try to educate our clients and other people that we talk to is that, coverage is the most important thing first. And then price obviously is a piece of that, but making sure that if you did have a claim, that you're more likely to have coverage for that than with some carriers versus others. So just, no policies are exactly the same. So making sure that they understand what they're purchasing, what might be covered, what might not be covered, and how to best protect their personal assets.
Really good point. I mean, the home, generally speaking, for a lot of people is their largest asset, and you have to protect that. I mean, if you don't have shelter, if something should happen, a fire, natural disaster, you want the opportunity to rebuild, or reassess your housing. Michael, there's been a lot of natural disasters, or a lot of extreme weather is what I'll call it. Extreme weather, especially in areas where there hasn't been extreme weather. People really need to understand flood insurance, fire insurance, and what is replaceable and not replaceable under the terms of their policy.
Definitely. And one thing I would add is, more people are relying on their home as a piece of their retirement plan. So making sure that you're fully protected with that asset. Because if something happens and you did have to come out of pocket for a claim, that could really set back, your retirement plans and things like that. So that's something we stress with our clients. I would say as far as the weather, making sure that you understand what's covered in the policy, what's not. We always, advise our clients to look at or consider purchasing flood insurance, even if you're not in a flood prone area, because that is excluded, as well as earthquakes. So, a lot of people, just think that the insurance would cover everything. And that's not always the case. And certain types of claims on different policies will be capped at certain limits and things like that as well.
Yeah, you mentioned people going for the lowest cost possible. I have to imagine there are online, online brokerages or online ways to get this insurance. But look, I'm a big fan of working with people. And, if you have somebody who is really skilled and understands the marketplace, they can probably help you get the best policy possible for you. It really is a customized solution, I would think.
Yeah, correct. As an independent agency, we're able to shop the market for our clients. We have contracts with most of the major carriers. We wouldn't work with like the direct writers and things like that would be with captive type agents, but we would be able to go multiple carriers, and by doing that, I mean, like as a baseball player, I always tell people, I didn't have multiple agents that represented me. I had one person that kind of controlled the market, and by that, we're able to help negotiate with the carriers to get the best terms and rates for our clients.
Let's talk about the deductible. I think that's a really important concept and can help differentiate the policy. Of course, you're the expert, so you'll tell me where I'm wrong or where I'm right. But people need to be aware of what they have to pay out of pocket. So they're going to pay the premium, or premia, I guess is the plural, right? So they're paying the premia, but also they need to be aware of what the deductible, so what they're going to have to pay out front of any insurance recoupment.
Yeah, the deductible will be what the consumer would be responsible for before the policy would pay out. A lot of times we're recommending higher deductibles if the client is able to do that. I mean, they would be self-insuring that first layer, but it can provide good savings. And we always recommend not using the homeowner's insurance policy as a maintenance policy. If you're having a high frequency of claims, you're going to pay a surcharge on your rates for your insurance. So looking at higher deductibles and not filing those, $500 or $1,000 claims, most of the clients that we're working with, we're advising to at least, $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 deductibles for potential savings on the homeowners and really just using it as more of for large claims. And a lot of the carriers that we do work with would waive the deductible on a claim over 50,000, so that you're insuring that amount under 50,000 and minus the deductible. So that can be a good option for people that are looking to find savings on higher value properties.
Well, Michael, I need to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk to Mike about minding the gaps in your home owner's insurance. What else do you need to know? Well, you're going to have to stay tuned right here on BRN AM. Imagine a new television network that will make you richer, healthier, and in control of your financial future. This network is for the policewoman in Nashville, Tennessee, the baker in Dubuque, Iowa, the teacher in Lexington, Kentucky. We want to make the idea of savings and retirement culturally relevant. But what do you see as a defining issue of the midterms, especially for the smaller businesses? I mean, they are the lifeblood of the American economy. Featuring exclusive interviews, current affairs, and docuseries. 33 years old, you retired early.
The philosophy is money only matters if it helps you live a life that you love.
But you got to start thinking about retirement as soon as you get in.
The Broadcast Retirement Network will drive very high engagement with premium partnerships. So this isn't retirement and savings for your parents or grandparents. This is for all Americans. And we're going to change the way you think about money. Welcome to the next frontier of retirement and savings. This is BRN, the Broadcast Retirement Network.
Are you stuck with a low credit score? A credit report and score that's causing you to be denied credit or pay higher interest rates than others for the same things? Then do what Terrence did and call Credit Repaired for your free credit evaluation to help restore your credit.
I started thinking about buying a new house, and my score wasn't where I needed it to be. I called and spoke with one of the representatives, and we just had a good conversation, and I liked what he was saying.
Just one call for his free credit evaluation was all it took to start back on the track to repairing his credit.
seeing the deletions and I'm getting the report, so I know something's being done. It does make a difference to me.
All it takes is one call to get started.
Credit Repair has given me a second chance to have a better credit score.
Don't let a low credit score hold you back another day. Do what Terrence did and make the call for your free credit evaluation.
Call 800-819-4152. That's 800-819-4152. Again, 800-819-4152.
Welcome back. We're talking this morning with Mike O'Connor of Assured Partners. Mike, thanks so much for staying with us this morning.
Yeah, my pleasure.
And I should also add that Michael is, because he's a former Major League Baseball pitcher, he's been commenting a little bit, you have to check that out in the first segment, about what he thinks about the World Series. But Mike, let's talk about another competition, and that is potentially increase in homeowner insurance rates. What are you seeing in the marketplace today? Are we really seeing increased rates, and what should homeowners expect?
Yeah, I mean, I think if you turn on the news right now, wildfires, hurricanes, the storms in Texas last winter. I mean, there's been a lot of claims in property. So there has been rate increases due to that amount of payouts and claims. So yeah, we are definitely seeing a tough market for homeowners insurance. So we are seeing rate increases. I mean, for us, we're as an independent agency, when that happens, I mean, if we get large rate increases, we would look at other markets we have for our clients. I mean, we don't advise switching every year, because that can impact your insurance score, which would impact your rates. But it is something we keep an eye on, and through we do pick up a lot of clients from other carriers that have had big rate increases. So it definitely is something going on in the industry, especially in Florida, California, the mountains, but all across the country is being impacted by all these claims.
And Michael, rates are, my understanding, insurance is regulated at the state level. So depending on where you live, you could see these increases. So if California, for example, in certain parts of California, you're seeing the wildfires that you indicated, then that area would be subject to rate increases. But the same rate increases may not apply, for example, to Idaho or some other location. Is that a fair statement?
Yeah, correct. Every carrier would have to file their rates with the state, and have those approved. So yeah, we get notifications from our carriers, about rate increases in different states. But it is, sometimes in the area that I live in, Washington D.C., Virginia gets them sooner than Maryland. D.C. gets, so it's it is state by state how that works.
Mike, how much insurance coverage? How much homeowners insurance coverage do you really need? I mean, is this something that people traditionally have skimped on? They've skipped going in all in on this because they just assume, hey, it's not going to happen to me. It's not going to happen to my family. It's going to happen to my neighbor. It's going to happen to my neighbor's neighbor.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, I think everybody likes to save money. I think, a lot of times people are looking to save money in ways that probably don't make sense financially. A recent study that I was reading estimated 2 in 3 people are underinsured on their home. The last couple, especially the last, 18 months, with all the supply chain issues and increased cost of materials, more people are underinsured than ever. The one thing that we always recommend to our clients is that they look at carriers that offer guaranteed replacement cost, and that would require inspections from the insurance carriers to make sure that they are paying the premium for that, and that the home is fully insured to value. But that would essentially take care of the issue of being underinsured on the property. So if there was a claim and it costs more than the amount of coverage that you have, it would not be capped, and they would rebuild the home to the same quality that it was prior to a loss.
Mike, do you have to take into account yesterday's prices versus today's prices? You mentioned supply chain. It might be difficult to get lumber, chips, computer chips that go into some of these. Basically, every appliance now has some type of computer chip. But do you have to factor in the cost of what say you have a house that's 30 years old? it costs X to build, but today to rebuild might cost twice as much, 3 times as much. Does that get factored into the premium that you pay?
Yes, definitely. I mean, it's based off the square footage, the quality of construction. To replace a appliance or lumber in this current market is a lot more expensive than it was a few years ago. So yeah, the cost of construction and for appliances in your home have gone up dramatically. So yeah, the amount of coverage that people need often is a lot higher than they realize. You're not insuring for what it would list on the market. You're insuring for what it would cost to rebuild, which can be a much different number.
Yeah, absolutely. The market is the market, but rebuilding is a market too, based on supplies, labor, all that kind of stuff. Mike, I guess last question here. What about, do you have to wait if, I've been reading that localities are reassessing the taxability or they're doing reassessments of homes for taxability purposes. Do you have to wait or use that information in terms of getting homeowners insurance?
As far as the tax assessments, no, those don't go into how we calculate the replacement cost for homes. All that is based off of the square footage, cost of materials. It depends on what carrier they're with. Different carriers would calculate that different ways. The higher end carriers would all come out and inspect the home and take pictures of everything, and then as the years go on, they would inflate that number to where they think it needs to be if there was a total loss.
Yeah. Well, obviously all the different variables really, to me, underscores the need to have a professional to work with who really understands the market. I can't be an expert in everything. I maybe just be an expert in one thing. My wife tells me otherwise. Mike, we're going to have to leave it there. Always great chatting with you about Major League Baseball, but also about the importance of insurance. Great talking with you, and look forward to having you back on the program again very soon.
Thanks for having me again, Jeffrey.
That wraps up this episode of BRN AM. Have a topic of interest, someone you think we should talk to, drop us a line. And don't forget, for all the information in retirement, markets, technology, personal finance, so much more, check out today's edition of our daily newsletter, The Morning Pulse. We're back again tomorrow. Until then, I'm Jeff Snyder. Stay safe, keep on saving, and don't forget, roll with the changes.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? Is the IRS threatening to take more of your money? Don't fight the IRS alone. The Tax Doctor is here to help you negotiate your tax bill and reduce your stress. The IRS can freeze your assets and seize your bank accounts, but you can stop these IRS actions. The Tax Doctor will work with you using our years of experience to represent your case to help you get the best resolution under the IRS guidelines. Help is here to deal with the IRS to reduce your stress. We've handled thousands of cases, so we know what we're doing. If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a Tax Doctor now for a tax emergency analysis.
Call 800-224-6439.